Joe?
Hi. Yeah.
Joe, my name is Erica.
Okay.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Find your way here okay?
Yeah.
Alright, so before we get started, I just wanted to go over some minor things with you.
Okay.
Okay, so while you're here, anything that you say to me, anything that happens between us, that does stay between us. But there are some times where maybe I would have to report things that you say to me. So in the incidents that you might tell me that a child has been physically, sexually abused, maybe even neglected, I would be mandated to report that. Okay. Also, if you ever tell me that an elderly person, a vulnerable elderly person has been abused or neglected in any way, I am mandated to report that. And then if you disclose to me that you're going to harm yourself or harm someone else, I'm mandated to report that as well.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me about that?
No.
Okay. So by signing, you're just saying that I've explained this to you and you understand and you agree to that. Okay. Next here, so I just wanted to let you know that this is a two-way street here. So you do have rights in this relationship as well. So it is our obligation to inform you of these rights. While you are seeing me, you have the right to a high standard of care and service. Okay. You have the right to be treated with courtesy, respect, and dignity. Okay. You have a right to be informed of all the services available to you. Okay. You have a right to review your records by submitting a written request to our administrator. Okay. You have the right to make suggestions and changes to your treatment plan.
Okay.
You have the right to discontinue or transfer services at any time. Okay. You have the right to receive care that is specific to your needs, despite any physical limitations or language barriers. And then you have the right to report any concerns or problems to our administration at this number right here, okay? Now, do you have any questions or concerns regarding this form?
No.
No? Okay. Well, by signing, it's just stating that I have explained this to you and you understand.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. So, before we get started, is there any questions, any concerns you might have about me or anything you would like to discuss? No? Okay. So what brings you in today, Joan?
Well, my husband passed away 9 months ago. And my kids and I are kind of having a hard time dealing with everything since he's passed away.
I'm really sorry to hear that. So how did your husband pass away?
It was an accident on the job site. You know, it happened instantly, and it was very quick and unexpected. You know, I didn't know kind of what to do after that.
And how have you been responding to this emotionally?
Well, you know, really upset sometimes, and you know, I still cry sometimes about it. I miss him, and it's just been hard.
So I'm hearing that it was very, very unexpected, something that you or your family weren't expecting in any manner, so it's kind of making it harder to cope afterwards.
Yeah.
So, do you have any support outside of your home?
No, not really. It's just me and my 3 kids. So trying to do everything for us.
Have you been successful in explaining to your children what has happened?
I mean, they know what's happened. They still, you know, they miss their dad, and they wish he was here, and so, you know, but I don't think they really understand.
And how have they been reacting to this?
Well, you know, they're still sad and upset. We've been having some behavior problems at home and at school.
Tell me a little bit more about the problems that they're displaying.
Well, they are not doing some of their work sometimes. And, having a hard time listening to the teacher. They need to be doing certain things. At home, they're not wanting to listen to me either. Their dad was kind of the disciplinarian in the family, so they're not used to me having to do that for them.
So you're saying that there's been kind of a role switch in your household that the kids are having a hard time adjusting to?
Yeah, their dad was, the head of the household and the main financial resource for the family. I work some part-time, but, so that I could be home more with the kids, but now that he's gone, I have to work a lot more. I have less time for the children.
And how are you handling everything financially?
It's really been hard because, we don't have that income. We're waiting on an insurance claim since it was job related, but, we haven't gotten anything yet.
Have you found yourself having to take on more responsibility, like more hours at your job, or did you have to find a second job?
Yeah, my house cleaned, so I picked up cleaning couple more houses. And, so, I have to work more and I'm not really as much.
And how are the kids responding to that?
Well, I think, that's part of their problem with their schoolwork because they're not always able to get their homework done, when I'm not there.
Now, is there anybody that helps them while you can't be there?
I can get my neighbor to check in on them, but, mainly it's just them and me.
And how do you feel about that, leaving your kids home?
I don't want to, but I have to in order for us to survive financially.
So I'm hearing that you're having a really hard time kind of coping with the loss of your husband and kind of making sense of everything, and your kids are as well, and that maybe you feel some guilt in their performance in school and their behavior performance, and you might look at that as a result of you not being there.
Yeah, everything's different. If my husband was here and I was at home, everything would be the same. But now, it's all changed, so it makes things more difficult for me and more difficult for the kids. So yeah, it's just been hard.
And have your children received any maybe counseling since the death of their father?
Well, they've talked to like a school counselor a little bit, but not a lot.
Is that something you're considering?
It might be helpful for them, I think, if we did.
What about family counseling?
Yeah, anything that would help the kids understand what's been going on and make them healthier. I'd be ready to try.
Absolutely. How would you feel about possibly bringing them to a meeting here?
I think that would probably be fine.
Now, if you could set maybe three goals, what you would want from that kind of meeting, what would those goals be?
Well, for the kids to have a better understanding of what's going on, for them to know that, we're a family and we're going to stick together and make things work. And in the end, it's all going to be okay. Just so, I know it'll take time, but just so they understand everything better, I think.
Yes, I'm hearing that you are actually pretty hopeful.
Yeah. I know death is a part of life, and although it's not what we wanted, move on from, so.
And what do you think the most important next steps are to do that?
Yeah, just to get, the kids, back to like a normal schedule and, getting things done so that they can be happy and not have problems at school or at home. So that they understand that, mom has to be the one to discipline them sometimes. It's for their best interest.
Are they finding it hard to adjust to that, you switching roles like that?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely not used to it, so it's been difficult for me and for them because neither one of us are really used to it.
So it sounds like your house has really changed a lot since the passing of your husband.
Yeah, it has.
But it sounds like you're pretty hopeful and you know where to go from here. It's just going to take time. Seems like you understand that. All right, so we discussed how your husband's death was very sudden, very unexpected, and in some ways, correct me if I'm wrong, that made it harder to accept for you. You and your children are having a hard time just financially and just adjusting to the role switches. But you did say that you would like to get them in here and have a meeting, correct?
Right, yeah.
Would you be available to do that maybe next week?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe, is there a time that works good with yours and your kids' schedules?
Maybe on Thursday, like probably 4 o'clock after we get out of school.
Okay, that sounds great. I'll schedule you in for Thursday. All right, is there any other questions that you have for me? Any concerns? Anything that you would like me to?
I don't think so.
No?
Really.
All right, so then we'll be meeting up on Thursday, and I look forward to seeing you and meeting with your children.
Okay.
Okay? You have a nice evening,
All
okay?
right, thanks.
You're welcome.